We need to talk about a war that's happening right now. But it's not the one you're seeing in the headlines. No, this is the hidden war, the one being fought for the future of money itself.
So, the news breaks, bombs are falling, headlines are screaming, a hot war has just broken out.
And right on cue, all the things you'd expect to happen start happening. The price of energy just skyrockets, and you can almost feel the panic ripple through the global markets. It's, textbook geopolitics 101.
But then, something happens that makes absolutely no sense. The one asset, the one thing that for 5,000 years has been the go-to in exactly this kind of crisis, it doesn't just dip, it absolutely craters.
Okay, let's really dig into this because this is the mystery at the heart of it all. The expectation couldn't be simpler. War starts, people get scared, they run to the safety of gold. That's the rule. But the reality? It was the complete opposite. So what on earth is going on here?
So first, we've got to get our heads around the sheer scale of this failure. Just how bad was it?
$1 trillion. That's how much value just, poof, vanished from precious metals markets in less time than it takes to watch a movie. In the exact moment gold was supposed to be the hero, it suffered a catastrophic failure.
The truth is often hiding just beneath the surface, behind the numbers. And in this case, the clues were actually there long before the first shots were ever fired.
For years, there was this theory, right? If gold ever hit some crazy price, like $5,000 an ounce, it could only mean one thing. The US dollar was collapsing. But that's not what happened. Gold's price did go up, a lot. But the dollar index, the DXY, which basically measures the dollar's strength, it stayed really, really strong. That disconnect, that's a massive signal. And according to analyst Brent Johnson, that signal's pointing to something way bigger. He says it's not just that people are getting tired of the dollar. No, it's a rejection of fiat altogether. And by fiat, we mean all of these government-issued currencies that aren't backed by anything physical.
And this, right here, this gets us to the absolute core of what's happening. Because while we were all watching the skies for missiles, the real war had already started, and it was a monetary war.
So what is currency warfare? Well, it's a pretty modern and brutal geopolitical tool. It's basically weaponizing the global financial system to choke off a country's access to US dollars. If you can do that, you can collapse their economy and spark chaos from the inside out.
And this isn't some kind of theory. We have the playbook. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, he actually described it in public before the strikes on Iran even happened. You cut off their supply of dollars. That forces them to just print their own currency, like crazy. Pretty soon that currency becomes worthless, people can't afford to buy food, and they take to the streets. The entire country gets destabilized without firing a single shot.
But here's where you have to zoom out to see the real game being played. This isn't just about Iran. It's worth noting that Iran sends something like 85% of its oil to China. So by destabilizing Iran, the US puts enormous pressure on China's energy supply. It's an energy war aimed squarely at Beijing, but they're using Tehran as the battlefield. By the way, if you're finding this analysis interesting, please take a second to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps, and you won't miss what's coming next.
So, if gold failed, and the dollar is being used as a weapon, what happened to the new kid on the block? What happened to Bitcoin? The data is just striking. While gold was plummeting 8%, Bitcoin took an initial hit, sure. It flushed out all the weak hands, but then it just snapped right back within 48 hours. It actually ended the period in the green. This was not the expected behavior at all.
And the crucial point here is that historically Bitcoin has always acted like a risk-on asset, a speculation. In past crises, it's sold off, and it's sold off hard. Even proponents like Brent Johnson, and he said this before the conflict, pointed this out.
But this time was different. Now look, it's just one data point. It's not definitive proof of anything yet, but it's a pretty powerful data point. It suggests that in a world where fiat currencies are being questioned and traditional safe havens are failing, the market might just be starting to see Bitcoin in a whole new light.
All of this high-level geopolitical chess has devastating real-world consequences for people on the ground. So what does any of this mean for a regular person who's just caught in the crossfire?
And this is really where the theoretical stuff breaks down and gets practical. Gold's biggest weakness was exposed. It still relies on the traditional system to work. You need markets to be open to sell it. You need people you trust to store it. Bitcoin, on the other hand, it operates completely outside of that system.
Just think about it. What do you actually need if your country is collapsing?
You need to get your wealth across a border. You need something that can't be easily taken from you. And you absolutely need something you can use without having to ask a bank or a government for permission.
This right here is the ultimate difference. You can't just drive a truck full of gold bars through a checkpoint during a war. It's not going to happen. But you can memorize 12 simple words, a seed phrase, and carry your entire life savings inside your own head, accessible from anywhere in the world.
And that's the key. For people living through this kind of chaos, this stops being about speculation or investment returns. It becomes an escape hatch. It's an exit from a system that is failing them in the most violent way imaginable.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Forget the charts, forget all the macro theories for just a second. If you were an Iranian citizen right now, watching your currency turn to dust and your country fall into chaos, what asset would you want to be holding? The answer to that question, well, it tells you everything you need to know.